Aha! Welcome everyone. Welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you who might be wondering what this is, well, this is Dungeons and Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. So, if it's not something you want to watch, well, too bad, we started, and it's going to be the same thing next week, and the week after that, and after that. For everyone else, or those who didn't want to be here but changed their mind, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us. And especially even more so if you're actually back because you liked one of our previous sessions. No matter for what reason, we're very lenient on this. So it's a pleasure to have you with us. And as always, take a seat. Sorry, get ready. And this is going to be a slightly different session. As if you were there last episode, you will remember it ended in a weird way. But as always, just before we start, a quick thank you to Chaotic Calling, who usually raids us during the night, although I'm not sure they're actually broadcasting right now, so maybe they're just going to join us a few people at a time during the evening. Kearney City Guild, who still lets us post on their Discord page in the hope of getting more people. And also tonight, because I forgot to add it in the comments, in the panels below, I have to say it on stream, we actually have a music tonight. And the music was taken and edited on the Ambient Mixer website. So ambient/mixer.com. So that way they can't tell me that I didn't tell everyone that this is where we got the music tonight. But don't worry, on YouTube it's going to be written in the comments below, and it's going to most likely be added in the panels below. Maybe tonight, just to be sure. So, yes, like I said, we are going to have music tonight. Everything has been tested. And unless something catastrophically fail, there will be music during the fight. Yay! I'm so proud. But we only have one music, so it's only going to be this one that's going to repeat and repeat and repeat. And once the fight is done, there's not going to be more music tonight because I haven't had enough time to make more. But there will be more as the game progresses. All right. I think that's about it. So, let's get started. All right. So, last episode, the party finally managed to regroup with the rest of the adventurers of the garden and started to make their way toward the main mountain range, where the entrance to the let's call it a mountain kingdom can be found. A lot of villages, towns, temples. But for now, they're all making their way, and they regroup with the adventurers of the garden, and they spent most of their previous day making new friendship, getting to learn more about the other adventurers. For some, finding a new master, although almost not. But finding new masters, finding people that intrigue them, getting to know more about the other adventurers of the garden. And that was most of their day. As the night started to roll in, some of the party started to feel something was wrong. They looked up and they saw the moon, but for some reason, they felt out of place in the sky, which is a bit odd because since there are two moons, there's basically never a night without a moon in the sky. Well, except for one night. But as the evening started to progress and got quieter and quieter, and everyone started to go to bed, the world changed very rapidly for adventurers. Jorg, you saw the world around you become overtaken by corruption, by disease. You saw your friends being infected and torn apart from the inside, coming back as plant zombies or something like that. Not even you are sure. You have never seen anything like it. And you were overtaken by this urge to destroy them. Almost this voice whispering in your ears. Right from behind every single filter you might have that would help you say no to this. Fisher, you found yourself woken up by a voice you hope to never hear again unless it was to kill it. But unfortunately that voice spoke arcane words which up till now you thought had no more hold on you. But now they seem to have hold, and the voice was that of your past friend. Written on the wanted poster inside of your mind room, telling you.
Call it his mind palace. It's okay.
Yeah,
Not copyrighted.
For now it's more of a tiny hut than a palace.
Yeah. There is one room.
Well, two.
Hey, look, compared to the rooms you normally rent whenever we go to a tavern, it's a fucking palace. Let's be clear here.
Fair enough.
So, and the order given to you, one which you for some reason cannot resist, is that it's time to clean up this place. Kill every single one of your friends. Audience. Yes, that is a big task. Audience, you found yourself almost nodding off, but woken up by a star that seemed to just fall from the sky, destroying everything in front of you. As far as you know, the entire expedition has been wiped out. The flame reaches even to where Jorg, Fisher, and Remy were. From your perspective, you are the lone survivor of this initial attack upon this plane, and coming out of this rubble, this flame and hail of body parts, the warrior who has lost part of his armor and is one of the soldiers of this entity, this single entity who has made you feel fear like nothing had ever been able to before, ordering you to give him back his armor. And Remy, as you get woken up from your almost sleep, you are greeted by red eyes rising up from where Jorg was with a bloody dagger in his hand, calling you by a name which is unfamiliar to anyone else but you. Telling you that it's time to settle things. So this is where everything was left off. As you all prepare for what is gonna happen. So, I will have you all roll initiative.
Jorg got a 9.
15 as well.
Jorg got a 9. Fisher got a 15. Audience got a 15. Remy?
Remy gets a 12.
A 12. Alright. Oh, that is interesting. Alright. So, let's start this and see if... No, that's not the right one. Why are you starting with this one? I said this one here. This one. Oh, yeah, that's right. Sound gets weird from time to time. Why isn't this working? Oh, damn. No. Oh, jeez. I tested everything myself 2 hours ago. Come on. Don't be mean. Yes. Connected. Why isn't it working? That's just mean. That's really, it's just mean. Oh.
Is the speaker's not working?
Well, it was a few minutes ago. I even heard it. Why isn't it working right now? It's just me being mean for being mean's sake. Why is it interfering?
Le micro est activé. Le micro est désactivé.
Shut up. Come on.
By the way, did we technically we never technically rested, right?
I guess this would be the equivalent of a short rest, I
Well,
guess?
I'm wondering because I know Jorg used quite a few healing spells and I used all my lay on hands.
Oh, yeah.
No, actually, for this, I know it's a bit weird to say this, but I will actually give you a long rest.
Okay. That's good.
En passant,
'Cause that is
le
really open
microphone
Why?
est
up to
désactivé.
25.
Yes, I know
Pour le
it's...
réactiver,
Shut up.
appuyez sur le bouton qui contrôle votre microphone.
Long rest.
I know it's
I don't
not
understand.
activated.
That is not under my languages that I know.
Mm-mm. My one language that I know.
It
English.
just needed to restart. Alright. Alright. I know, it's not super strong, but it's enough to hear it. Is it enough to hear it?
I can hear it.
Okay.
I can hear it.
It's just to make sure that there's no super quiet moment like the one we just went through. So, alright, so the first one to act in this is technically audience because you have a higher dexterity than Fisher with a 15.
Yes.
Alright, audience, you are in front of this enemy, demanding his armor back, and from the stare he is giving you, he is not accepting no.
Audience is gonna do something that is quite rare, but he is gonna turn, try and find somewhere to basically get out of that gaze. All he can think about is getting out from under those eyes. He knows this is not an enemy he can defeat. All he wants is to get out from under that gaze. So he's looking for basically, is there any, anything basically that will get him out from under the eyes of this creature?
As
For
far
this
as
entity.
as far as you can tell, with the exception of the pits of flame everywhere, that you may be able to run and hide behind one and have partial cover because of the heat distortion and all. You are on a level field surrounded by body parts and nothing else to hide. And I haven't placed a battle map because, well, you'll see why. It's hard to place a battle map when not everyone's seeing the same thing.
Same thing. All right. Then audience looking around, not seeing anything, will turn and do the only option he thinks he has. He will dash 60 feet away from the end.
Oh goodness! Audience succumbs to fear right off the bat and starts running away.
Quite rare for him, but in this case,
For the first time of his life, fear took hold. Without me forcing him to make a saving throw.
nope. He's terrified. All his friends are dead. He's the lone survivor, and there's a god that was literally told to him that could destroy the world with merely a thought.
Well, this is the warrior of that god.
Okay, but he's still like, no.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna nope myself right out of here.
He's like, time to leave.
They were
Everyone's
nice
dead.
friends, but let's get out. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, they're already dead in his mind.
Yeah.
Everyone's dead but him.
Alright, then we fall to Fisher. Fisher, as you are looking at everyone around you, what you see around you, your field of vision, weirdly enough, doesn't go beyond 60 feet behind you and maybe 100 feet in every direction in front of you. So it's sort of black and barren. You only see your 3 other friends. For a moment, you see them all going slightly absent. They just start staring off in the distance. And then they all seem to look in your direction. And you see audience just start running away. Screaming? I don't know. You're muted.
No, he would not be screaming. That would take too much breath.
Okay.
He focused on running.
You see audience running away with panic in his body language. Fisher, you hear the voice go, "Ah, this is disappointing. Let's appeal to his better nature. Cripple the weakest of your friend. Now. And do it quietly."
Oh man,
Now you have to insult one of
gonna
us.
run after audience. I can't do that anymore.
You have to think who in your mind is the weakest of your friend.
It's okay. None of us are going to personally feel insulted because we can't know.
Yeah.
Weakest in the friendship.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
So,
I'm gonna run over and cripple or
cripple.
the cripple. I don't really have anything that can cripple somebody.
You've heard about these tactics. Cripple the weakest party member, so the others need to come back and protect them. It's... But that is the intent, not the word. Cripple the weakest of your
I
friend.
will run over to Jorg and start to beat the shit out of him.
Alright. He is within range. Reluctantly, but following the orders, you move toward Jorg.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna hit him with my greatsword.
Go ahead.
Pretty great sword.
That's a 21 to hit.
Yeah,
That
that's
most
gonna hit.
definitely hits.
And
Man, this
Right,
is gonna
where
be
are
the
your
one
bad- where-
session.
where are your
this is gonna be
I
the
bad-
one
know,
session
right?
Where, like,
Where
Fisher
are my
makes all
bad-
of their hits.
Second one. Sorry, bud. So for the first one, that is.
So, George, from your perspective, what you see the plant zombie of where Fisher was starting to shamble, move a bit ungracefully in your direction, and it grabs the sword that Fisher once had and starts running at you. Not very gracefully.
Yeah, so it's 11 for the first hit.
Ooh.
And the second one, which was the crit,
Ooh.
is 17.
So, Jorg, you are hit with one weapon slash, giving you 11 points of slashing damage, and a second one with 17 points of slashing damage.
That doesn't feel good.
Fisher, you see your friend getting hit by those two strikes. The blood pouring out, falling to the ground, following the second strike that you gave, seeing the blood just arc up with your sword, falling a little also on yourself. Anything else?
No. Yeah, that's it.
Alright. Jorg, from that hit, I believe you have been hit quite hard. Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Or wait, did the
Yes?
you said it do it quietly?
Oh, yes.
Was there another?
That is quiet enough.
Okay, he said, yeah, kill him and do it quietly. Or
There's no
critical him.
guns.
Okay, yeah. Yep, that's it.
So basically, do it without talking.
It's too bad, because then I can't just try and firebolt him and miss over and over and over again.
Alright. The next one in the initiative is Remy. From your perspective, you look at this scene and you see the unmoving body of Jorg and your very old and dear taskmaster of your past slowly approaching you, one step at a time, a dagger drawn, and you hear noises coming from the shadows around you. He's not alone. He brought people with him, but you can't see them right now. What do you do?
All right. So I'm gonna roll this just to see. Okay. All right, then. Raimi is like he has his dagger out, but it's like his arm is shaking. Like he's trying in his mind so hard to move, but his muscles won't let him.
Okay.
He just can't stop staring, like remembering. And as much as he wants to move, he just can't.
He is frozen in place by fear. Alright, we have two party members whose fear has taken hold to the point of making them lose their means. Anything else?
playing as it is, that's all Remy can do in this moment.
Okay. Jorg, you have just been assailed by one of the zombie plant creature that you saw, the one who took over Fisher. You see one of the zombie plants starting to move away, go toward someone. You can't make out exactly, but it feels like they're injured and trying to move away. You see the plant creature that came out of audience slowly start moving toward that person. What are you doing?
He's getting attacked by one. But
Yes.
he I guess that's priority number one. And so is it that it's the plant creature came out, or is it Fisher physically the plant creature?
From your
Like, it's
perspective, what
corpse.
happened is that you saw something. You saw the ground starting to move, and you saw a root system just come out, enter through the cracks and fissure of Fisher's armor, and your best bet would be that they completely corrupted and took over his own root system inside of him that act as muscle, and used that to spread throughout his entire body, deforming him and taking over him. You've seen this kind of behavior in parasite plant, and usually the plant is either dying or dead when this happens.
Yeah. Well, feeling the sting of that blade, he's going to transform into a black bear.
Right,
Yeah.
stop.
And I'm using. And then
Come on.
it's
Why did it freeze? I swear, I tried. I completely
it's
tested everything. It didn't freeze. I don't know why. That's just mean. All right.
yeah. Because he doesn't know if Fisher's alive in there or
Okay.
if Audience is, but he knows that being dead's better for everyone.
And that
And,
undeath is the worst fate.
Yeah.
According to
and
all
especially the
druids.
spreading is also real bad. Yeah, he'll make his bite and claw at the Fisher zombie,
Okay.
and I'll 19 over heal.
Oh, wait, you're a shepherd druid, aren't you?
Yes, I can still transform.
Oh yeah, you can transform, but it uses your action, if I'm remembering correctly.
That's
Oh.
what I was looking at right now.
Oh,
Only moon druids get to transform as bonus action.
yeah. So then, as a bonus action,
If the bear has a bonus action, you can take that bonus action. Or if you have a bonus action that you can do while you're in a bear form, you can take it. But
yeah, he does not.
all right, so
All right,
You-
don't take my bear away from me.
you transform into a
How many hit
bear.
points does the bear have?
He just
19.
couldn't bear it.
He
So,
didn't think this one.
Fisher, from your perspective, you see Jorg reacting to this attack by transforming into a bear. Which you know means only one of two things. Either he's about to return the hits, or he just wants to be able to take more hits and try to do something else. Because as far as you're concerned, your other friends can also see the one who's giving commands. As far as you can tell. Remy, from your perspective, all you hear is your enemy approaching slowly toward you, barely moving. It's just, oh, what a joke. Just making a few steps, but emitting this guttural sound which really doesn't reassures you. Almost like a pleasuring sound coming from his throat. He seems to really want this to happen. Alright. So we go back to the top of the initiative. But why does it keep falling into... I don't know, it just keeps falling dormant, so when the music stops, it doesn't start again. Alright, we go back to the top of the initiative. Audience, as your turn arrives once again, you can hear screams coming from the flames. You swear you could hear Jorg screaming out, most likely from an injury. Some of your friends might not actually be dead. Injured and dying, but not dead.
If that is the case, I will steel myself and try and turn and run back towards the sound of George screaming.
Alright. Then you have a moment of and you turn around and starts...
There's basically the moment of, well, we're probably all gonna die anyway, but I might as well die trying to save them.
Yeah. So you run back toward your enemy, who's just slowly walking. But as you turn around and see him, you see him have this bobbing motion of just left, right, and as he steps right, he moves so fast your eyes can't even follow it. He just moves roughly 30 feet to your right, to your left after that, and you just, oh shit, that's how fast he can move. But you have made all of your movement and you are back within melee range of him. Well, at least in a range he could successfully reach you. Alright. The next one in the initiative is Fisher. You see George changing shape. Yes, of course. He can change shape more than once and have more hit points.
Just cripple the bear.
You hear the voice go, "Are you sure this is the weakest of your friend?" You also hear, coming from inside of you, a distant voice. Very weak. "Snap out of it! Snap out of it, you tin can!" This sounds familiar. It sounds like Terranad is trying to wake you up.
Wake me up inside.
I can't wait.
Well, he may not be the weakest health pool wise, but he is very much the weakest from my experience.
Then go ahead. Keep
combat prowess wise.
It's like a flash cut to the armor and weapons fight.
So yeah, I'm gonna hit the bear again.
Hit the bear again. All right.
Or hit the bear for the first time. That.
I guess Jorg will have to grin and bear it.
That doesn't have a vermal component. I'm just gonna use green flame blade.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So, George, which bear did you change into?
There's a black bear.
Black bear, alright.
That's a 25 to hit.
Well, that
Yeah,
is
that's a
definitely
hit.
enough.
That does additional D8 at this level.
Well, that definitely makes it clear that this is not Fisher.
That is 20 damage.
Oh, jeez.
7 of which is fire damage.
If I'm not mistaken, Jorg, this means that you lose your bear shape.
Yup. It was exactly one more than would kill my bear.
So 1 hit point transfers to your normal shape. So Fisher, you see Jorg in this bear form, then you hit him as hard as you can with that magic energy, forcing him back into its normal shape. You see a bit of the surprise in his eyes. Oh god, not already.
Yeah. And then I guess that's it. I don't get to make like a saving throw, do I?
Now each one of you no, because each one of you have a way to get out of this. You have to find it on your own.
I think I figured mine out, but I don't have a reason to do it.
Audience knows his. I know mine. Audience doesn't know his. But he might just stumble upon it anyway. It's probably likely he will.
Don't worry, I will leave out clues during this event, which will help you find it. If you can't see the clues, however, that's not my problem. So, alright, so we go down to Remy. Remy, you suddenly see this shadow coming from the from your left side, going near your enemy in front of you, just looking at you. He has been rejoined by, apparently, an aide. He just looks at you, and then your friend says, "Come on, Noir. Is that all you have to do after all this time? Come on, then. Come to Papa."
God. I'm rolling this again. Okay, significantly better than the first one I made.
Okay.
Now I do want one thing clarified.
Yes.
Just because of like how it's like we woke up for this, correct?
You were almost, from your point of view, you were almost asleep. You were just on the moment where you're just about to, and then BAM! This happens. But I also all gave you a full long rest.
Oh no, like the complication I'm asking about is because you know that when Raimi goes to sleep every night, he puts 2 slots in his lantern.
Okay.
So I need to know how many slots are in his lantern in this exact moment after this air quote long rest.
So, does Remy always put 2 spell slots in his lantern, even if there is a lot of light around him when he goes to sleep?
He always does it as a comfort thing.
Okay, then in that case, if you take out your lantern, you do notice there are 2 spell slots in it, making this something strange here. But then again, you were just about to fall asleep. Maybe you just don't remember it. But this element sort of shears off in your mind. Did I? Didn't I?
Yeah, because because Raimi has gotten this sensation that and obviously one of them has come and joined them. Raimi is going to use a slot from the lantern in order to activate its advantage effects, and he's going to make a perception around him to see if he can maybe spot where these supposedly other entities are.
Okay. So, what is the range of this? Oh, yeah, that's right. I can't write Fairy Fire even with my life dependent on it.
Oh no, you're thinking of the light spell.
No, that's you're using a light or Fairy Fire.
Well, it's like I said, I was using the aspect of the lantern to get advantage on investigation and perception.
Okay, that one. All right. Sorry.
Sorry, I guess that wasn't clear.
No, that's all right. All right. In that case, I will add to your. So, are you doing this specifically? After that, are you spending the turn perceiving your surrounding? Are you relying on your passive perception?
I'm using my action to make a perception check.
Okay, well, in that case, make a perception check with advantage.
Because now I have more sets of dice, I can roll 2 at the same time. Right, that is going to be a 26.
26. All right. You look around, and as far as you can tell from that perception, you can see your opponent from the past and 2 aides. And for a brief moment, there seems to be a shearing when you look around, as if something else was afoot. As best as you know, your opponent can cast spells. So maybe he already has a spell active.
Alright. Raimi will stand his guard, but that's his action and bonus action, so there's nothing else he can do on this turn.
Okay. In that case, we go with Jorg. Jorg, you are there being wailed on by Fisher, the undead plant form of Fisher. And from the corner of your eyes, you see the undead plant form of Audience making its way toward you. And you see for a brief moment a glimmer of light coming from Remy's undead plant form, but he is not moving for now. You are already engaged with Fisher, with zombie Fisher, and are most likely about to be flanked by zombie Audience.
Yeah. I think...
You hear this influence inside of you. Stop holding back. For nature. Purge. Purge it all.
Alright. He's gonna use Conjure Animals and summon 4 beasts of 1/2 challenge rating.
Here's one thing. As far as your recollection goes, you haven't learned that spell. You wanted to learn it this evening.
But
because of the influence of it, you sort of go to, alright, and the words just don't come. The prayer itself, you seem to try and focus, and this sort of comes back to you. Oh, damn. I forgot to talk about him. But oddly enough, there is this moment of weirdness because you started to make the gestures, which you're not supposed to know. It's just the words that they just didn't come out. As if you'd completely forgotten them or distractingly heard them, not absorbing the spell. You do have the spell in your spell, but you are unable to use it.
Yeah.
And I will not penalize you by saying that you lost the spell since you weren't able to cast it.
Mm-hmm. All right. In that case, he's just gonna quarterstaff him and then healing word. So he tries. Oh, he got a non-natural 20. It was so close to a natural 20, but it bounced off.
Too bad.
The...
Well,
Yeah.
it is enough to hit Fisher.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And he's two-handing it, so it's 10 damage.
Jeez
just
Louise.
Bonk, and then he does a level 2 healing word for a total of 8.
So you just touch yourself to have a little bit of bleeding stop, and the tissues just reform around the injury, but the blow that you give to Fisher feels like you injured him more than you healed yourself. Fisher, you see Jorg for a moment. He seems to be just about to cast a spell, and then he stops, and then just takes his staff, hits you for 10 hit points of bludgeoning damage, and then just heals himself. You do notice one thing, and this behavior, you've never seen him doubt like this, so this behavior sort of makes you realize that he's looking at you with a really blank stares. Oops, sorry, not stares, stare. Very different. You think he's not actually seeing you. Alright, we go back to the top of the initiative with audience. Audience, from your perspective, you see the creature take a shapeless form on the ground. You hear that person scream, and you just see him take his hand, not even a sword, and just thrust right inside his guts and let it fall to the ground unmoving.
Do I see Jorg?
No, you just hear him scream. You've been hearing scream for maybe a good 6 seconds, but that seems to have been just another person struggling to stay alive. You can still hear Jorg in the distance go, ah! Ah!
Oh,
He seems to be right in the direction of where your enemy is. The screams...
I guess I'm gonna have to go through him. I guess I will go and try and hit the creature.
Alright.
Hope I can maybe at least fend him off for a bit. Maybe at least distract him so maybe some others can escape. I don't know. I'm not very hopeful.
Go ahead.
You got this.
Jump him. Attack.
That will be a D20. Oh wait, I can just use my attack rolls, right? They have.
Yeah.
Can just use attack on this. That's cool. Where is a attack? Actions. Longsword, and I guess because I have no idea what I woke up with, but apparently I woke up with my longsword and shield, so that's what we're going with.
All right.
Because I have 3 different weapons I could technically be using right now. So I guess we'll say I'm using my longsword.
Okay.
And that would be the one that would most naturally come into my hand.
Okay.
It's what I've been using. So I guess that makes sense. So that's going to be a 23 to hit.
That is enough to hit.
Okay, and I will strike him for damage. 10 damage.
All right. So You move
I get to attack again.
toward your target. You raise your sword and you hit him. Jorg, you get hit for 10 points
Ow.
of damage as you
Oh
see
my
zombie
God.
audience hits you.
Jorg is just getting smacked. Wait,
You
does
can
this
take
mean I
it.
get advantage on Jorg? Because I'm kidding. I randomly get advantage. I'm like, why am I getting advantage?
Felt too easy.
Poor Jorg. Oh my god.
Oh yes, no, this is
Alright. Does it look like I'm doing anything to the creature?
it barely reacts, as if, yeah, your hit managed to penetrate his thick skin, but it doesn't react as if you hit it particularly hard. It's just a slight
Well, then I will hit it again and hope that it works better.
Oh no.
19 to hit.
19 to hit, that is enough.
Alright, and I will hit it for...
However, before you before you state the damage, Fisher, from your point of view, you see audience going toward you and just scream, not even going toward you, looking blank with a blank stare in his eyes. The first blow just goes right past you, but the second one seems to be going right at you with a 19 to hit.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, that hits.
Do you let it?
okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then
Okay.
you take 13 points of
13
slashing
points of
damage. And audience, from your perspective, you hit the creature again. Audience, the second blow, you just barely, from your perspective, you just barely avoid. It seems to be moving a bit clumsily. Alright, so
Okay.
zombie audience isn't exactly as good as audience is. That's good in your mind.
I still don't think I have... I still don't have any bonus actions I can do, really, so...
Audience, however, I will make you do a wisdom roll with proficiency.
Oh, nice. Wisdom roll with
Please.
okay, so that's +3. I'll just do my save roll then, because that's the same thing. 21.
21.
Whoa.
That's pretty good. You do notice something a bit weird in this fight. The first blow that you gave, your enemy seemed to react in a bit of a clumsy way. But the second blow was unmistakably more proficient in the way that it was defending itself. Sort of the difference between hitting someone who doesn't have a lot of combat experience versus someone who has. Which is a bit of an odd thing for the same opponent.
Alright. Audience will think... what will he... Now, he probably would honestly just think that the creature wasn't ready for him. Or something on the first hit.
Alright. That fits with everything I know about audience so far. Fisher. It is your turn. You've been wailing on Jorg, but suddenly audience has come to defend Jorg and is trying to hit you.
Well, killing Jorg.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, you just missed the first time.
True.
Is there anything new?
No, the commands
Command-wise,
haven't
or-
changed. But again, I'd say make a... Oh, no, well, that would actually go with your passive perception, which isn't all that good. With your passive perception... Well, that's not that bad. Again, you feel like Terranad is trying to say something. You hear a very distant voice just go, "Let me take over. Get yourself knocked out." That's all you can make out from when he's trying to scream.
Yeah. I can't try and snap out of it like Terranad told me to do last turn, can I?
If you can find a way to snap yourself out of it while following the instructions that you received, I will consider it.
I think I know what it is, but
And remember the private instructions that I gave you also.
Yeah. And he just told me...
Cripple the weakest of your friend and do it quietly.
I am going to hit. I'm gonna attack Jorg again with Green Flame Blade.
Ouch. Okay.
That is a 15 to hit.
Yeah.
It is unfortunately his armor class.
Rip.
Alright. Overdose easy.
So,
Oh shit. I accidentally overridden it.
Terranad told me to knock myself out, which was kind of what I was already planning. So,
Well, how much damage? Okay, I see where you're going.
I am going to have the fire jump back to me from the Green Flame Blade,
Okay.
because it could hit another target within 5 feet.
Okay.
So, Jorg, you take... oh, thank God, that's a 3. I thought that was an 8 for a second. That's 17.
Oh god!
ow.
Sorry, bud.
She.
And I take 10.
Okay. So you hit Jorg and thinking about this is gonna work, I can do this. You hit Jorg and he takes the hit square on. You see him fall to his knees and face first on the ground. He is unconscious, but you think he's still alive.
Yep, well, I crippled him. Yeah, and then I took 10 fire damage.
Okay. As you see Jorg falling on the ground, you hear the voice inside of you saying, the voice of your enemy, go, "Good. Step away. Let the strongest try and help him and attack the other one." You have to decide who do you believe is the strongest of your enemy, who is going to go and help Jorg and attack the other one.
Yeah, so here's a question.
Yes.
Can I see where Raimi is? Seeing as I never seem to be able to.
Well, seeing as Remy is currently completely panicked and not sure what to do, I'd say this would be the equivalent of imposing disadvantage on a passive stealth. Remy, which would be your passive stealth?
Disadvantage normally, like
It's
statistically, is a
equivalent of
-5 or -6.
-5, yeah. It's usually -5 disadvantage. So that would grant you.
I have a 15 passive stealth at disadvantage.
I can't see him.
So, well, if you follow your instructions to the letter,
I'm gonna go look for him.
yeah, I was gonna say, you do know you have a fourth friend in the group.
Not Terry. Spare him.
You know what? Technically, Terry is the weakest party member.
You should have been attacking Terry the whole time.
Terry isn't a party member.
Hey, Terry can spit acid. That's like,
Not yet, he can't.
he can barf acid.
So I'm gonna follow the wording, and I'm gonna go looking for Raimi.
Okay, now I have to ask a bad question that I kind of don't want to ask.
Okay.
But in my
Do it.
viewpoint, do I see the creature trying to disengage from me?
That's a...
Oh yeah, that's an interesting question. You would see... Well, yes, you would see the creature bob right, bob left, and then right again, trying to move away from you. Trying to better position himself.
Then I would try and hit him. He moved away from me. Unfortunately.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, with a 24 to hit.
Yep.
Alright.
You hit.
Alright.
Roll for
I'll hit him
damage.
for 11 points of damage.
Fisher. You move away. And you get hit by audience, who also is staring blankly in emptiness, but you know, it's also not that weird because you know he can do that. Alright. So, Fisher, you get hit with... How many... Okay, it's already been... Alright. Alright, so... We go down to... Remy! Remy, as you look at all that is happening around you, you notice that one of the form in front of you, just the one that was right beside your father, disappears in the shadows, leaving only one form right in front of you, and another one slowly trying to creep his way toward you. But he seems to not completely be aware of where you are.
Right.
You know who your adoptive father was. You know the kind of goons that he would have surrounded himself with. You know the level of competence he would have and how prepared he would be. Having someone that is that unprepared with him, that also is a bit of a shearing in this illusion that you're seeing. But your mind, make a wisdom, make another. I'm gonna have to go with intelligence. Make an intelligence save.
Okay. Ooh. I'm double checking my int save because I don't get to use it that often. Plus, I have an item
Pretty
boosting
good.
it. So that's a solid 25.
25. All right, so you're looking at everything around you, and your deduction skills are starting to warn you about something that feels really odd about this. But you also feel your mind desperately trying to rationalize everything. This can be a spell. Maybe they are illusions. Maybe his aids are actually illusions, and he's the only real danger. That's where you are right now. You feel the shearing of these elements, but your mind is still racing, trying to rationalize everything. But it has come to the point where doubts are creeping in.
Okay. Which case?
So right now you have your adoptive father in front of you and this shadow trying to make its way toward you, clumsily a bit.
Okay. Rainy feels as though he is encountering illusions of some sort, and he isn't exactly sure what the nature of those illusions are. So, alright, he's going to try this.
Okay.
As an action, he is going to summon his familiar.
Okay. You easily manage to do this. You are right there and you focus and summon your familiar. He appears right next to you. There is a bit of panic around him, as if he's seeing something he doesn't know what to do with. But that's the reaction that you get. The initial reaction.
Mm-hmm. And then, as sort of like the free action, he is going to communicate to his familiar. Say, help find illusions. I.e., taking advantage of their advanced hearing and smell.
Okay, make a intelligence saving throw and a wisdom saving throw for your familiar.
Oh god, this will be interesting. Right, I'm gonna. I mean, I almost don't want to bother rolling if it's for the same rolls that we've been making.
Well, hey.
Okay, I'll go ahead and ask just straight up.
Fisher made a natural 20 on an intelligence save.
I mean, I will just go ahead and ask if, at least for the intelligence save, is it even possible to make the DC with a -4?
No.
All right, then I will only roll the wisdom then.
Okay.
All right. It's in the shadow. surprisingly high, but probably not enough. 17.
17. Actually... Alright. You get an immediate sense of panic when you give him order, as if he's looking at something that he really, really doesn't like. Which again is a bit of a shearing because he doesn't know who your adoptive father is. But his reaction is out of measure, way too strong for what you can see. But he can see something that's terrifying him. But he stays close to you, faithfully. And tries to look around. That's everything that's gonna happen for him.
No worries.
Alright.
And that'll be it for the turn.
Jorg.
Yeah.
Make a death save.
18.
18. Well, you succeed the death save. Your body is slowly trying to stabilize itself.
Mm-hmm.
And you get this.
Ooh.
Alright. Then we go directly back to audience. Audience, you see your opponent, slowly moving out of your range as you did just before, and then seemingly preparing himself to attack again.
Alright. I guess I will go after him and continue to try and attack him. Since he hasn't hit me yet. Which seems a little odd, but maybe I'm beneath his notice. That's one thing I'll think is a little bit odd. Like, why wouldn't he have hit me since it doesn't seem to be anyone else around?
Oh, that is a slight shearing of the illusion. Something that audience does notice.
But I'd be like, maybe he's just trying to draw me in, or doesn't care about my strikes. So it doesn't affect me yet.
Basically, the same thing as Remy. You are starting to see shearing in this illusion, but your mind is desperately rationalizing everything you see.
Alright, I guess I will try and hit him with a 24.
That is enough to hit. Fisher, you see audience rush to you, attack you with a blow that seems will connect with a 24. You let it happen? You're muted.
Of course I am. Even if I wanted to do anything, 24 is too high.
Oh yeah, that's one too much. Okay, go ahead.
Dead. 10 points of damage.
Alright, 10 points of damage it is.
Then I will hit him again.
Okay.
That one will miss.
Yep.
Tries to hit you with an 11, and you dodge out of the way. The competence of this warrior seems to have increased drastically compared to the first time you tried to hit him. Now he's dodging. He's dodging in a way that's familiar to you.
Can I roll an intelligence roll to see if I recognize the combatant's movements, since that is something I look at?
You can, and since you are a martial class, I will give you proficiency with this roll.
Okay, so that's a +2. Instead, so I will add +2 to this roll instead of -1. Actually, I'll just roll a d20 then, and then just add +2 because I don't have a. 18.
18. Definitely, there's something odd about the way he moves. It reminds you of Fisher.
Okay. I will hesitantly call out, Fisher, is that you?
All right. Fisher, now you understand why I said quietly? As you are defending yourself against these blows, which are devastating you right now, you do hear the familiar voice of audience piercing through this, asking if it's you.
I will nod my head.
Okay.
Or, wait.
As long as you keep following the command that was given to you,
Mm-hmm.
you can be creative about this.
I am going to... Actually, yeah, I'm gonna shake my head.
Shake or nod? Shake,
Shake.
nod.
Shake, as in no.
It's not you? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I know why, because you want me to knock you out. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, now you're very much confused. Fully confused audience now.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to be confusing because you're asking your enemy if he is someone you know, and he is just shaking his head in no motion. You heard him speak a few moments ago. From your perspective, it was 18 seconds ago. You heard him talk. You know he can talk.
Yeah, this is very weird. He was like, "Where's my armor?" And so I cut everyone, and now he's like backing away, shaking his head, not trying to hit me at all. I'm like, this is super strange.
Fisher, you are also right now trying to figure out where Remy is. Are you going with passive or active?
I am going with I mean, I'm actively searching for him.
Then make a perception roll.
5. There it is.
Well, your passive rolls are gonna save you.
Yeah, and I'll keep wandering around looking for him.
Audience, from your perspective, it's just an odd pattern of movement. He's bobbing left, bobbing right.
Its head no, and is giving me an odd pattern of movement.
Or actually, I'm gonna, dealing with audience, can I step away in a way that makes me very easy to hit?
Well, technically, yeah. You could. You haven't received indication to defend yourself to the best of your abilities. So, technically, you could let a blow hit you.
Yeah.
Would
So
that
I'll
then
just-
give me advantage on like my next hit or something?
Yeah,
We did.
advantage is good.
Okay.
You
audience
you
sees
weirdly
this.
see him shake when you ask him if it's Fisher, and then he moves away in a very clumsy manner, which makes you feel like he's either taunting you to hit him, which means it's a trap, or something's wrong with this thing. It's one of the two.
Okay, audience is gonna. Would he do that? That's interesting. Would he do that? Does this creature look weakened at all, or no?
No. Even the blow you manage to... Every time you manage to hit him, it barely reacts.
Okay, audience, instead of hitting the creature when it steps, can you try and grapple a creature as it steps away, or is that not something you can do? Can you only hit it?
No, it's an attack, and they do say that you can grapple someone as an attack.
Okay. Because audience is this creature is confusing him, but one thing he knows that if this creature is what at least he's seen, there's no way he will be strong enough to grapple it. So he's kind of doing that as a test, because he knows that there should be no way he should be able to grapple this creature at
Okay.
all. Okay, so that's a strength roll. Not a good one. At a 10. Roll 6.
All right. So
I don't know where to grab this creature.
that's a bit of the thing. Is you start approaching Fisher, and suddenly you see the image of the creature shift and move excessively fast, reappearing a few feet to your right. You jump to it and you try and grab it. Remy, from your perspective, your dear old adoptive father uses a spell. He just blinks out and reappears right in front of you, most likely something like a Misty Step, and grabs you. Audience, your roll is contested with Remy's.
Remy, you may actually beat me for once. I rolled very poorly.
Although, you're trying to grapple, right, Sam?
Yeah.
That's not a strength save. That's a athletics check.
Oh, it's an athletics? Okay,
Yeah.
well, it would be plus, so it'd be 13 then.
13. So Remy, you can
I
choose
get to use
between
acrobatics.
athletics or I think it's athletic or acrobatic.
Yep.
It's better too.
Yeah, you're not getting Raimi even with that roll. He rolls a 14.
So you try and grab it, and suddenly, for this shift of movement going really fast, he simply managed to dodge out of the way. And
then audience is gonna say, "What are you?"
well, that was a reaction for you. So you.
Oh, can I not? Well, that was kind of off his second thing because it shook its head that it wasn't Fisher, but I'm like confused. I mean, if you say I can't do that till next round, I can't do that till next round.
Well, yeah, because that was a reaction to Fisher moving. So you're not on your turn.
Okay. Well, I thought I was trying to grapple it.
Yeah, because he moved away, so you get an opportunity attack.
Oh,
So-
no, it wasn't on my turn. Oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah,
now.
it's still my
No,
turn,
No.
but
So
you're
next
right.
turn, yeah, no. So, okay, that makes sense. Next turn, I'll say that.
So Fisher, from your perspective, it's a bit odd because you see audience going right for you, and then at last minute, turn around and try and grab Remy.
Well, he doesn't know where Remy is, though, I thought. He doesn't know.
Well,
I, Yeah, do I now see Remy?
Oh yeah, well that's interesting. Yes, it is the end
I
of
rolled
your
a 5
turn.
on my perception this turn.
It is the end of your turn, so you failed to perceive him as you were looking around and trying. You started to move away, so you would have lost your action, but you'd still have a bonus action if you have one, because suddenly you saw audience go toward Remy, and Remy just comes back into focus as you see audience trying to grab him and Remy trying to move out of the way. If you can do something with a bonus action, you still have that available. Bonus or reaction.
Yeah, no.
Alright. But that...
Even in combat, audience is trying to give Remy a hug.
Yes.
Remy, from your perspective, your father has just tried to give you a warm hug.
Embrace me, my son.
Which is your turn right now. So you see your father rushing toward you, trying to grab you. Of course, you reacted on instinct and just... It is your turn now.
Alright, then... So, because Raimi, especially since the grapple didn't actually work, he still doesn't know if they're an illusion or not.
Yeah.
Raimi looks down at and communicates what enemies see.
You get flooded with a whole bunch of emotion. You hear of something about a flying creature, a roaming lizard, and a plant monster, which has been slain by one of the two other creatures.
Okay, so I'm assuming this does not match up at all with what Raimi is seeing presently. No, okay.
You are fully aware that your cat is not seeing what you are seeing at all.
Okay. I will... Because he's not really trusting anything that he's seeing, I'm just going to make one roll real quick. Yeah, that's fair. Raimi... Yeah, that he's gonna shout. He's gonna shout out loudly. It's like, just who the fuck are you?
All right. Audience, you cannot recognize what has just been said. Fisher, you hear clearly Remy shout this, indicating to you that something's really wrong with this situation. None of your friends are acting the way they're supposed to. You're under an influence that you believe is supposed to be over for you. And Remy suddenly is extremely confused. It doesn't change the fact that you're stuck with the commands that you've been given. But you're now aware of something that is really, really amiss.
Does the audience hear anything, or no?
You hear a jumble of words which you cannot recognize. The sounds have been distorted by the illusion surrounding you.
Okay. But is it coming from the creature or just coming from all around me?
It feels like it's coming from the creature. But again, there's something odd about this, because you've heard it talk, then you've heard it
talk,
just
that's what I was thinking.
not talk, and then you've heard it.
It has communication problems. That's what I'm learning.
Definitely. Jorg, make a death save.
You guys got quiet all of a sudden. See,
Yeah, I think it's just the music ended.
ooh, I got a 10.
Oh, I can still hear it. I can still hear it. You rolled what?
Oh, there it is.
A 10.
10? Okay. Well, that is enough to succeed it.
Yeah. If Jorgu can dream right now, he's probably thinking he's turning into a mushroom. Creature.
Well, actually, as you are doing this, I've just sent you a little message. You find yourself floating in this little moment of, I failed. And then you are greeted by this, what I just sent you. So, no context. But you're greeted by what looks like, from your perspective, a beautiful angel, which you recognize as being what I described. So you know that it's actually someone. Just telling you, it's alright, don't panic. This is gonna be over in a few moments.
Did you stop the fungus?
You look around and you don't see fungus, but you do see a lot of people tending to a lot of wounded.
Yeah. What's going on?
That's about 6 seconds of conversation, which means we have to go to
Alright.
the next one. Alright, so we go back to the top of the initiative with audience, who is getting more and more confused with every passing round.
Okay. Audience is gonna be like, what are you? What do you want? And he's gonna stop hitting, he's gonna stop trying to hit the creature. And kind of like, he's gonna ready an action to attack if the creature attacks him. But he's gonna be like, who are you? What do you want?
Okay. Make an intelligence saving throw.
Alright, I'm great at those. That's a 4.
Alright. For a moment, it feels like the reality in front of you wants to flicker, but you dismiss it as being the heat of the flames all around you. Something is definitely odd, though.
Well, I'm not attacking, I'm just now standing there, basically.
With a action ready to attack if you attack, is that it?
Yeah, with an action ready to attack.
Fisher, it falls down to you as you are in front of Remy and audience. But just as you see Remy and are about to follow the instruction that you were just given, you hear, "He's open. Attack the paladin."
Okay. Then I am going to.
Make an intelligence saving throw also.
Okay. 5.
Okay. What were you going to do?
Because he just said attack. Didn't give a specific. I'm gonna drop my greatsword, pull out my dagger, and use green flame blade on audience.
Okay.
How does a ready to attack work against someone who's attacking you? Do they attack first? Do I attack? Like, I don't even know how that works.
It's a reaction. It's like a pistol duel. You both get to fire.
Okay. So I would also attack him.
Yeah. Especially even more so, you have the same initiative, so it basically happens within the same few seconds. If you had initiative that was really far apart, I'd say, well, there's a definitive, but you're almost simultaneous.
I'm definitely hitting him with a 26.
Yeah, I got a what is that? 15.
That will not hit me.
Alright, so you see the creature lunges toward you and trying to hit you. You instinctively react. With a 25 to hit, is that it?
26.
26.
But only 6 damage.
I am unconscious.
You hit the...
I guess I only needed 6 damage.
Yeah.
I had 3 health left.
Fisher, you fall to the ground, and just as you're falling to the ground, you do hear Terranad say, well, I can't do anything with that. And you just fall to the ground, incapable of moving because you've sustained too much damage. Audience, you strike the creature, and you see it just... but it is still up.
Does it seem to teleport? Like, weird? Like, because at first it was Remy, then it was Fisher, then it was
It's just
Remy
a slight
again.
movement. It's sort of like this bobbing right, and then shifting for a moment, and you feel like you've just caught it at the moment that it was reappearing, and then it bobs back the other way and goes back to the place where it was.
Alright. Oh, I hit it, so I guess, yeah.
You can see a trickle of blood appearing just where you hit it. Now you know it can bleed. Whatever that thing is.
That was also the first time it tried to hit me. The whole thing's weird to me. It would say it's running, and now like when it starts to get hurt, it hits me. Odd. Okay.
Remy, from your perspective, you see your adoptive father walking toward you, raising a dagger in the air. Come on, be a nice boy. Let it happen. It is your turn. What do you do?
Remy has already figured out he can't trust anything that he's seeing.
So make an intelligence saving throw again, since you are so deep in your convictions.
That's gonna be another 25.
25. The world is shearing around you, and you see these flickering image, and for a brief moment, you swear you hear a familiar voice coming from afar, saying just, "Hold on!" And you hear a prayer coming from somewhere close by. From your perspective, it looks like it's near where the fire of the camp is. You hear this chanting. A chanting that you've often heard Audience or Jorg do. So it is priestly in nature.
Alright, in which case... Raimi is going to, or to be clear, the fire is actually visible.
Yeah.
Or was it just in the direction of where he thought? Okay.
You think that the chant is coming right about where the campfire is.
All right. In which case, Raimi is going to bonus action disengage, and he will. Yeah. No matter what, that's what he would think he would be able to do. He is going to bonus action disengage and then dash toward the flames.
All right, so audience, you see this shape. Bob right, Bob left, and you recognize this. Okay, he's gonna... And you just see it blur out and burst away. Just... move away nearly 60 feet away from you. At a blinding speed, almost. Remy, as you start walking, do you stop where the campfire is, or do you keep running into it?
I don't think Raimi is desperate enough to literally run into fire. But he might hop over it.
Okay.
if he's moving too quickly.
Make a... Oh, goodness. Make an acrobatics roll with disadvantage.
That's fair. That is fair. Right, Raimi, let's see what we get. Is that a... Alright, that one's obviously the lower one. 11.
11. Alright, so that's an interesting roll. It allows me to tie in with what Jorg will see. You turn around and you go toward the fire and you jump above it. And Jorg, you just see... You turn around, your head turns, and you see the shape of Remy running toward you. And you see it jumps, and his feet catches on what is actually chanting. And Remy, with your passive insight and perception, you sort of recognize the hard exterior of something that almost feels like an organic armor hitting your feet as you try to jump above it. Jorg, you know that this is a turtle's carapace that is just try and jump over. He's just managed to hit the turtle and he falls face first on the ground. And this is where your perspective starts to clear up and you see everything around you. Corinth is sitting right in the middle of everything with his hammer in his hand, and he's speaking a prayer right now. And you recognize this as a prayer that is almost over. It is just about to release all of its energy. Your turn comes. What do? You see there's... The entire place is in disarray. You are not the only group under this effect. Everyone started fighting at the same time. But the surrounding that you see is not one of a campfire. It seems like a structure you were inside. For now, the memory is so blurry, you're having trouble remembering things.
By the way, audience could have actually still made an attack of opportunity against Remy.
Because Sentinel catches... Oh, okay. Well...
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd like to...
I don't know. Audience, if he sees it, like, teleporting away, he probably wouldn't think he even would be able to hit it, so he probably wouldn't try, from what he saw.
Alright, if it's your honest answer, I'll accept it.
Yeah. Because of what you described of it instantly, like, blurring away, like, audience would be like, I can't hit that. He wouldn't even attempt it.
Okay. So the surrounding is really weird, but you saw that everyone started fighting. There's the priests and everyone that is of faith is pulling people out of combat. You hear people screaming in disarray in language that you don't know, and saying that they've killed everyone, saying that they're alone, saying that there's a creature. There was a mass something that influenced everyone, or almost everyone. All but the most experienced of adventurers were influenced by that. And as Remy, you get up with the sensation of having hit a turtle's carapace. While you're running, Jorg, seeing this, you see that Fisher is out on the ground, oozing his sap. Audience looking extremely confused, more than Remy. And as your turn ends, unless you want to do something, as you see all of this, it's a priest that just pulled you out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something you'd like to do or say?
I mean, like, honestly, that's like
You do have 6 seconds.
This seems appropriate. Maybe it's just like, what the fuck's going on?
Okay. All right, Jorg. That would fall into your turn. You see all of this happening. You also have 6 seconds and an action. And do you want to do something with what you see?
Can Jorg see audience and Fisher?
Fisher is on the... Yes, you can see. Fisher is on the ground, oozing out his sap. Audience is looking extremely confused. And Remy just shouted, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Alright.
And right in the middle of everyone, you see Corin focusing on a spell.
I think Jorg's gonna try to get over to Fisher and get him with a cure wounds.
All right, you stumble your way toward him as you try and recover from... You still have been pushed to the point of death, but you were brought back by a priest. So there is still a bit of a shock on your system, but you try to get up and you go toward Fisher. With all of the perspective just coming back into focus, he is maybe 40 feet away from you.
Alright, so I'm not gonna get there yet.
Depends on what spell you have.
No, actually, he can just healing word him. He'll shout a healing word at him.
All right, then roll.
For a total of
Get your
6
ass
health.
up.
And then immediately realize that might be a bad idea, but it's too late now. Is audience? What's audience doing?
Audience is just
From my
standing there.
perspective. Okay.
Looking very confused, trying to hit whatever is close to him. All right, so
Can Jorg yell at audience? Audience, snap out of it!
Jorg, did you heal Fisher? Did you?
Yeah.
All right. So how many hit points did you give him back?
6.
6. So Fisher, you are just coming back to life, just this afraid of what might have happened as you lost awareness.
I hope I don't knock out Fisher again.
And Jorg, you try and talk to audience. Audience, make an intelligence saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Why is it intelligence?
Because it's illusion that's trying to influence your mind. And in
Ooh,
illusion...
17.
17. You actually hear... You think you hear the voice of Jorg calling out to you.
George, roll persuasion.
I'm persuading you to get out.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do?
Do I hear what George says? Do
Yeah.
I hear snap out of it?
You hear it. It's very faint, but you
Okay.
hear it.
Okay.
It's roughly in the direction where It's not exactly where the creature is, which from your perspective is standing where was the campfire. And just a bit further, it feels like it came from there, maybe 30 feet behind the creature.
Interesting. So the creature doesn't appear in front of me again when Fisher is re-rezzed next to me?
Alright, now it's still following Remy.
Okay. Cool. So, that's good. Okay.
Of course, you didn't see the creature stumble as it was jumping. You just saw it.
Just stopped. Okay.
Alright, Jorg.
That'll be the end of his turn.
Okay. Alright. So, when you go back to the top of the initiative... Well, actually... Corinth beats audience initiative. So as audience, you're looking around very confused, trying to figure out things. Fisher just barely coming out of this. Jorg still a bit confused, and Remy realizing that something's going on. You hear this voice, and it from your perspective, audience, it feels like it is powerful, deep. Feels like it's coming from light itself, and from your perspective, all you see is a blinding flash of light. Jorg, Fisher, as you are just reeling in from this, you see Korrivan just raise his hammer, and you hear his maul, and you hear him just shout, "I cast thee back to the shadow where you came from," and hits the ground. You see this wave of energy just explodes outward from him, and you see the illusion just gets washed away. And you see Korrivan just in the middle of this explosion. For you, audience, and Remy, the illusion just subsides, and you see him after the flash of light. Fisher, you were starting to hear the voice again, giving you orders, but just as this wave of energy washes over you, you hear the voice fade. And you're once again completely in control of your movement. You see Corinth just fall to one knees and breathe heavily. Looks toward all of you. Oh, at least you didn't completely finish one each other. Oh. And this is where we're gonna go to our break, because you've been in combat against one another for the first part of this. So as we let the player reel in from the emotion of nearly killing each other, we're gonna go to our break, and unfortunately this is the end of the music for tonight, because I haven't finished making a campfire music. So, see you all in 10 minutes, and... well, I hope you're gonna be there. See you soon.
Yep. See you.
Aha, welcome back. And yes, we are at almost exactly 10 minutes. And yes, it is very silent. There's no more music. Like I said, that was my first music. Be patient. There will be more and more music as we move along, and I have more time to edit and make them. And just to be sure that I'm not hit with a claim of some sort, I made them with ambient mixer. ambiance.mixer.com ambient/mixer, not slash, sorry. It's a hyphen. I'm just protecting myself. I will most likely add this panel below during the night, so, but just to be sure. All right, so well, we go back to exactly where you were. You all wake up from this nightmare, as you can imagine, audience, Remy, and Jorg also were under the influence of a powerful illusion. Jorg was also under the influence of a charm. And Fisher was the only one who actually saw what was happening around him. He was only under the influence of a charm. And now that everything is ended and everything is coming back into focus, these details are becoming more clear in your mind. Oh, well, that's how it feels when you're stuck inside of an illusion. Jorg, that's how it feels when you're a construct who has to follow orders. Fisher, God damn it, I lived through that again.
Yeah. Here's a question.
Yes.
Am I aware that it was like a separate magic effect doing that and not that
the word still functions?
Yeah.
Well, I'd say you'd have to leave it to Fisher to be sure, as in 100% sure. But the more the moments are passing by, the more you are aware that you were under the influence of magic. So I'd say what would be normal would probably be I don't know, 95% sure that, okay, this was just a spell. With just a hint of doubt in your mind because you've spent so many years stuck in this position. No, I'm pretty sure it's just... But it's all becoming much clearer as the moments pass, as you see Corinth just going... He's obviously cast a very powerful, holy incantation, dismissing the light of darkness. And as the illusion even leaves, you all hear in your mind this cackling, just disappear. As the weight of everything that was happening just comes bearing down on you. Audience, you realize that you've been hitting your own party members. Jorg, you realize that you were hitting Fisher. And as you look around, you realize that almost everyone was. Only but the most experienced of adventurers had managed to completely resist this effect. So you were
Good
not
thing
alone.
too, they probably would have killed us all in like one hit.
There are a lot of woundeds, and you even see priests taking out diamonds and using them on unmoving party members. Not yours, but from other groups.
Is everybody okay? You good, Jorg?
More or less.
Sorry.
Are you okay? I hit you a little bit.
Yeah. Way to go. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it's more than I've seen you do before, so good job. Plus, I was trying to knock myself out anyway.
Ooh, looks like you succeeded.
Yeah. Thanks, audience.
Always here to help.
Raimi is running up to audience and hugging him fiercely with as hard as he can with his little arms.
You okay there,
And
Remy?
he
I didn't
is
hit
crying.
you. I didn't hit you, did I?
Still crying, but he's kind of like shaking his head and just like like shaking his head, like as he's like basically like rubbing his head into your chest, just like really. He definitely is scared.
I'll hug Remy back.
As you look at the events of everything that happened, how the different movement pattern changed, you sort of realize that at the very end, the blur of movement really fit with Remy's movement pattern, and you realize that you were just about to start wailing on him.
And I didn't.
What happened?
I shake my head. I don't know. I think it was. I mean, from what I can tell, I was under, and from my experience, I was under some form of illusion magic. But I'll explain what I saw. I'll tell them what I saw.
Huh.
Who was that?
Oh, right, you weren't. Yeah, it's a.
Oh. I wasn't part of it.
It was a creature that we never actually saw, but it's the underling of something, of the only thing that's ever truly terrified me in my life. And that's all I'll say on it.
Damn.
As the adrenaline leaves you, you sort of realize where you are right now. And you realize that you're inside sort of a structure. Well, an open structure. It looks like let's call it an elven hunting lodge. So the sides are open. You see cushions, long chairs. It's open. You can actually see a large forest outside. You see stairs going to a second level. Looks like everything happened within this little place. Those with proficiency in Arcana can roll for this to see if it tells you something.
It's not one.
Neat place. I'd like to do
I'm
that
back,
one day.
guys. Now that I'm not attacking my party members.
You said Arcana roll?
Yeah. If you're proficient, you can roll.
Oh, I'm not.
17.
I don't think it would have mattered.
Okay.
I would have gone at 9 anyway.
So this is most likely some sort of pocket dimension or alternate place, a bit like the later, stronger versions of the Immense Tiny Hut or I had it just a moment. Manor. Is it that
Mordecai's Magnificent Manor?
Yeah, something akin to that, but it's slightly smaller. So maybe a lesser version of that. Does have a feeling of that when you look at this, because it doesn't fit a human decor, and you have been walking in human territories for quite a while. And just as you have this moment, you hear coming from one corner of this place, you hear Kazan starts screaming at someone. You turn around and you just see this person finishing a fall. He's obviously been pushed or yanked, and he just is falling to the ground. And you hear Kazan just start screaming at him, "By the gods, what were you doing, you stupid idiot? When a priest or a holy warrior tells you to not break the circle, you don't break the circle. What were you trying to do?" You see this person, this human, just looked not sure what to do. I just... You... Immediately you hear Corinth just go easy on him, and he gets up on his feet. He looks tired. Go easy on him. Kazan just turns. Just because his inexperience was pushing him to believe this was all superstition doesn't mean he should actually listen to stupid things which are said to those inept adventurers. You hear Corin just take it easy. He just doesn't know better. I am sure he has never been part of this larger group representing good. You see Kazan turn toward the adventurers. Tomorrow you're going back to the garden. I am not going into dangerous territory with an idiot like you following. And he just leaves and starts going to the next floor. You see Corin just going toward the poor guy who has just been completely floored by a dragonborn. Just helps him up, and you should probably go back to the garden. You're not prepared for this.
I'm gonna look confused, but I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to upset the guy anymore. But I do want to know what he meant later, or what happened.
He just taps the shoulder of the guy and just go to sleep. It'll help. You see all of the priests are in the last few moments of getting everyone back into on their feet. Not completely healed, but resurrected. Because some of them were not just on the floor, but mangled. A lot of spells were released in this. Corin just looks at your group and coming back. So, any of you need a urgent heal? I still have a little bit.
I'm
hurting pretty bad.
I'm sure Jord could use some.
Randy blinks in untouched.
Yeah, audience will also just shake his head, also untouched.
I've got lots of heals myself.
Alright, so just the warrior. Good. He rubs his hand and lay on hand on you, Fisher, putting you back to your full health.
How much did the priest heal me?
It was the basic of all level. Just hold on, my dice. Let me go. 13 points of healing. Well, it was basic for her.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I'll just.
You see Corinth just close the door of this place. There probably won't be any more problem. You can just sleep confidently. But you see him kneel in front of the door and starts writing again in a very white chalk. Some writings that were on the floor that seems to have been interrupted, and just slowly place them back in and start doing a prayer. So for you, the evening comes back. You start remembering what the evening was actually like. You didn't spend the night outside around a campfire. You remember that the night was starting to fall, and you remember hearing some of the priests say that you shouldn't stay outside. And this night, probably not a good idea to stay out while the strongest of evil is watching. So the highest level bard, Neisa, came and conjured up a place to rest in a pocket dimension, invited everyone in, then closed the door, and priests wrote enchantment to further protect the group. And you were all invited to a sumptuous meal. Most of it was elven food, so for Dragonborn, it's a bit lacking in flavor or in quantity, but it's filling. But it was an ample meal, and everyone was just relaxing. And the last thing that comes back into your mind is hearing doors opening. And as you looked toward the exit, you saw someone leaving the place, and then the illusion hits you. And you spend a little bit of time talking to other people, those that you talked during the day, just learning a bit more, but not new important information. For those of you who do small talk, it was mostly small talk, end of day small talk.
For those of you who do small talk, he says.
Is it still nighttime?
Yeah, it's the beginning of the night. No one was actually really... Well, no, actually, it is late during the night. Because you all had your long rest. But it is still night. But then again, you look at this and... Would there actually be a night and day cycle in a place like this? Maybe it's just another type of illusion. Just to make pretty outside.
So,
Do you guys need to go back to sleep?
yeah, probably.
I'll shake my head. I'll be like, I probably won't sleep again tonight.
His eyes wide open, much more than Sam's eyes are right now.
No, it was more of actually a guilt thing than a fear thing.
Okay.
What made you fight so viciously?
Who are you talking to?
Or I keep forgetting your name, Fisher. Because
the machine, you there.
You there with the metal face.
The robot.
I was supposed to cripple you.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Yeah.
So I'll look at Fisher. I'll be like, interesting. So you could see everything as normal?
Yes, but I wasn't entirely in control.
So
I thought, or it felt like how it used to before I was fully in control. Where I could kind of control myself, but the only freedom I had was in how to obey the commands. So I switched, as soon as I thought of it, I switched to trying to take myself out as fast as possible. Because it didn't say anything about that.
I'll look at Fisher. I'll be like, you okay? I know that must have been fairly traumatizing for you, from at least what I've heard, as you had thought you had escaped all that and then were forced back, especially into attacking the new friends you'd made. Can't have been easy.
Yeah. now that I know that it wasn't that, it was for a different reason, I'm fine. In the moment, I mean, it's good to know that I am not so strong on my own that you guys wouldn't be able to handle me if I was no longer in control.
Sure.
Although I would prefer in the future if you just knock me unconscious instead of,
Tearing you to pieces.
or at least in a more non-lethal way.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I was fighting someone who honestly I thought was just gonna kill me at any second. I didn't even think I had much hope of beating it, so I wasn't really
Yeah, no, I don't.
holding
Yeah,
back.
not blaming you for this time. Just in the future, by
This
some
time.
off chance if it does happen, just knock me out, and
All right.
supposedly Terranad should be able to take control.
What would happen if we attacked the person that took control of you?
I mean,
Let's say we were able to incapacitate them. Would you keep obeying their commands?
that never happened
Okay.
before, and I have control now. So, this is a hypothetical that's not supposed to be able to happen.
I see. But do any of us really have control?
Chorg.
Of what? Yes. For what I'm talking about. If you want to take this to some global existential level, then that's... I've been alive or conscious for a whole 3 years, my guy. That is way
That's a good
above
point.
my philosophical
Goddamn wisdom base.
retinue.
Wisdom base class.
Yeah.
Philosophy and all that.
Audience is gonna look at Party is gonna be like, well, I'm gonna be off. I have found that those sometimes returning from death's door are in need of comfort. So I will go now. Tell them about the strength and wisdom of the dragons. Perhaps they will find comfort in that. And the audience will wander off.
Of course you will.
Let's go convert people. So obviously you would choose warriors and rogue first because they're the furthest from faith. So
I'd go try to find the people that had to be resurrected. Go talk.
Like, if you had the strength of the dragon, you wouldn't have fallen.
Show them my untouched body.
this is the strength of the dragon. Marvel.
You know what? Oh my god, it's been doubly compounded because who are followers of the dragon?
The only two
Nathan
people
Raimi.
who weren't hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Untouched.
All right, and since you are going to try and convert people, I'd say go ahead and make a persuasion roll for your rounds of preaching.
Fair enough. Charisma.
Oh, motherfucker.
Where is this? Can't find it. Persuasion, there we go. Ooh, a natural 20.
Damn!
Very persuasive.
That's an 18. That's a
Yes,
synthetic 20.
Unnatural. I said unnatural.
Oh,
Did you?
unnatural.
Okay. It came through as natural.
Unnatural.
Okay. It's just like wow.
No,
That
it's
was quite
still pretty. It's
influential.
still very high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, nope. Not good enough. Sorry.
So you walk around spreading the might of the dragon faith, of your draconic faith. And you actually do manage to catch the attention of one or two people. Oh, you get this one priest who seems to be very, very low in his own order and just looking at you and looking at his holy symbol. And you can see it in his eyes. He has doubts, strong doubts. But he's a priest, so he's not gonna just fold. Represented by the fact that he rolled really well. So, but not everyone has this high a roll. So you find yourself in front of a plain old, well, what looks like a plain warrior for you, wearing good armor, but a sword like this, and just peering into the emptiness of the hall in front of him and of this elven lodge. And when you start talking to him, he sort of just hold on to your words as if they were a life buoy somewhere. Just, oh yeah, that makes sense. Do they accept everyone?
They do.
Oh, that's good to know.
I'll point over towards Remy and be like, you see, he was untouched in the battle as well. That's another follow.
Yeah, he looks at himself. Yeah. Oh. If we survive, yeah, I'll come praying at. Where is your shrine?
I'll hand him the book with the prayers he can make and be like,
Oh,
you need to we have no shrine, but you need to just pray at the sky. They will hear you.
okay. Thanks. And you see him just start reading this information that you just gave him. And,
Pamphlet.
Pamphlet.
yeah.
Alleged pamphlet. I carry them.
So, as you might expect, this one rolled really, really low. So, yeah, you get the feeling that there's honesty in what he's saying. He seems to be very, very enthralled by everything you just said. He's most likely going to come back. And you get another one. This one just, you're not completely sure. He looks like he has a bit of arcane knowledge, but he also seems to have a bit of martial capabilities. He does have a sword with him. Just looks at you and you make a good point, look, the other dragonborns, they also seem to have got out of it fairly untouched. You might have a point, draconic gods. You've given me a lot to think about. You just go sit in the corner, sort of a bit of in a daze, and yeah, it makes a lot of sense. You're not completely sure about him, but you definitely caught his attention. So that's your evening of prayers.
Yep, that's my evening. Everyone else who knows either student having 2 wounds, I'm going around converting people.
All right. Remy, as I've gathered, you just follow audience everywhere, maybe aiding him sometime with a little magic effect, Every time he says the dragons, you hear this hum in the background.
Yeah, with a little hum, and then doing the practiced shiny symbol of the dragon, like the one that he's been working on. Just making sure that's like really like standing out as audience is professing.
Every time he takes out his symbol, you add a minor illusion to make a little bit of glitter or shine on the. Oh. All right. Jorgen Fisher, how do you spend the rest of the evening? Someone goes dancing with the with the bards. You see one relieving stress a little bit, starting to dance, and he just. So, what do you both do?
Jorg would like to go find. I forgot the druid's name, but actually learn how to conjure animals.
Well, because the ability to conjure animal was stopped because of the spell, that it sort of brought you back a little bit in time. As you start thinking about it, it sort of comes back in your mind. And you really sort of realize just how much under the influence you actually were. And how
In that case.
debilitating or limiting it feels to literally have a voice inside of you that can just tell you something, and that is your reality. That is what you have to do.
And yeah, you said it was Kazin that chewed out the other guy that went back to the garden. Yeah. I'll go find him wherever he is.
He went to the second floor of this place. You easily find him as he is. The adrenaline rush still hasn't completely passed when you arrived, and you easily find him because he's trying to put things back into his backpack a little too aggressively. You see the other Dragonborn, Kudown, who just is very passively, unemotionally trying to calm him down. As you arrive, you just hear Kudown go, "You know, you weren't that much more respectful when you were as young as him. Your Kazin, you should listen to those who know more. They're there for a reason, especially those who have faith. They know about these things." This is when you arrive.
I'm not interrupting something, am I? I can come back later if you want.
You see Kazin is just about to say something, and Kudown just interrupts him. And, well, he is busy being angry, but he's not too busy to listen. Or are you? And he turns his head toward Kazin. You just see him. You hear Kudown just looks at you, and the untempered are volatile.
I can see that. I just wanted to let you know, I saw that display earlier, and while it may, I guess some might think it a bit of an overreaction, it after our first spar, you kind of gave me the impression of one of those people that is too confident and cocky because of their abilities and doesn't take things serious enough. And I didn't really want to train under somebody like that, but given that outburst earlier, I can see I was wrong about that. So I would like to apologize and say, if you'll have me as a student, I'd be honored to train under you.
You see Kazan just open his mouth, and immediately you see Kudown just think twice, breathe, and answer. You see
Remember
Kazan.
your exercise.
You see Kazan bite his tongue and then gets extremely annoyed by his friend just saying that and looking at him with his stare. I'm gonna kill you if you don't leave. And then going back to you and yes, that will be. Of course, you will be welcome. I gather that you handled yourself relatively well.
Flashback.
Debatable.
Well, at least now I know you have the ability to put yourself
Get
back into
myself
question.
killed on purpose.
And you have devotion. That is always useful and commendable. Of course, if you need help learning anything new, my offer still stands. You are, after all, just trying to learn more about this world. And you didn't open the door! You see Kodan.
Might I ask what it was that happened? I can assume that guy broke some kind of protection circle that let something in, but
Kodan,
do you know what it was they were trying to hold out?
Kodan answers for Kazan as he's breathing deeply again and says, well, tonight was the night of the new moons. As you might have most likely heard, or maybe lived once at least. On the night of the twin new moons, the evil god of our world has a say in what is happening. Sidout. Sorry, I'm having trouble pronouncing it. I think I need a bit of water. Sidout has a single night where he can push his influence in the world, and he tends to react to large party representing the light. You hear Kazan continues. So a large party like ours definitely drew his attention, which is why we took refuge in here, and wards were placed as a second layer of protection, and everyone was asked not to leave the sanctuary during the night, as this would put this sanctuary back in contact with the world where Sedunt can see. But someone didn't believe this. They believe it was superstition. Old wives' tales, as he said. Humans can be so closed-minded.
And we are sure it was incompetence and not
arrogance, ignorance, lack of experience. Take
Not
your
deliberate
pick.
sabotage.
Not from what he said, but I am not someone who can force the truth out of someone by magical means. But I can certainly make sure it is scared out of him. You hear Kodan just go, his reaction seem to be genuine. He was, in human terms, a fool.
Fair enough. Alright. I'll let you guys get your sleep.
Most likely, we will be given a little bit more time. Anyway, we are almost at Crossroad, and I believe we've spent a lot of resource bringing back the injured and the dead. We will need to take a little bit of time to recover, and maybe find a few of the appropriate stones. Well, yes, and we'll be able to take maybe a little break in there. It's been a long time since I've been in Crossroad. It is the largest town of this island chain. If it wasn't right in the middle of the two largest cities on this island, it would most likely be a city. It's only missing a large castle. There is a Lord's Manor. I wonder if his son remembers me.
I'll leave you to it.
And as well, we will leave you to it. And I know you do not easily sleep, so rest well. Rest well, and hopefully no one is going to be stupid tonight again.
Right. And then I'll leave.
And you leave. They both let you go. You see Kazan just go sit next to all of his things and starts putting them back inside his backpack. A little more controlled than before. Cooldown just doesn't seem to be fazed at all by all of this and just looks at you leaving and sits down on this large long chair, which can also act as a bed. All right. Anything else?
I'll go back and find everybody else, or Jorg specifically, because the other two are out preaching, and
yeah, but
I ain't part of that.
you can hear them just preach. You hear a few dragons and in the background. You go back to the place where you all settled just before all of this madness started. You find your backpack next to a long chair. Actually, 4 long chairs with everyone things which they didn't carry into battle. It was just there. So most likely, Jorg, since your evening was very short, you probably easily find yourself in front of Fisher. As you see Audience and Remy finishing their round, you know, they're going to be there in a few minutes.
Starting to think there's something to that religion.
Not you two. Come on.
No, I've already got a god I trust.
I can't be the only one.
Joy. Fall into the power.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Power.
check in
power.
again. In case you thought the reason I came after you specifically and not one of the other two was because you joined more recently or were mildly insulting at the beginning or anything like that. That's not it. It was more that with the instructions I was given,
You hear Terranad inside of you say, "Come on, say it. Say it."
you seemed the best target as well. You're not that great physically in a fight, although you may have changed my mind a little bit with that one smack you hit me with. You do seem to be rather good at taking a lot of hits. So I figured if I had to go after somebody, it would better be someone who could take it.
Not because you're a newbie. It's not because you're an asshole. It's because you just seem hittable.
You have this face that you
You're
just want to hit it.
That's okay. I didn't really take it personally. I know it was a pretty strange experience right there.
Good. Because it's nice to know that you don't take it personally or won't in the future. Not that it'll happen again. That's really worded.
If it does, I won't take it personally.
Yeah.
Again.
All right. Good talk.
Yeah.
I'll awkwardly pat him on the shoulder.
If you need any heals after I smack you, I can provide.
Yeah.
I don't.
You need
Thanks.
it's like you need some salve for that burn.
I don't know why I keep seeing the moment in the movie Hancock. Good job. You hear from inside of you, Tara, and I said, "That's not what he said."
Yeah. I'm gonna sit there awkwardly in silence as everybody else is going back to sleep, baby.
So as everyone arrives, so of course, audience and Remy, you arrive just in time to see this awkward moment of Fisher taking his hand off the shoulder of Jorg and just looking down and going in his corner and just looking outward.
I'm gonna be just cleaning my greatsword of Jorg's blood.
Roll intimidation.
0. That one -1.
So instead of looking intimidating, you really, really, really look like this awkward person in this awkward moment, just going. And of course, audience and Remy, you catch this as you arrive. This.
Actually, no. Like, are you actually making a scraping sound?
I mean,
No, that's just me that was mixing, polishing the sword and sharpening it.
Oh, okay.
Fisher is not. The whetstone might be.
So, audience and Remy, as you arrive, is there anything else you'd like to do?
Maybe just does a rainbow. And then slightly like tries to impose a little bit of the symbol of the dragon in the middle of the rainbow.
So you get this rainbow, and then suddenly you see the emblem of the dragon appearing faintly at the center.
I like to think that he was practicing like every time they walked up to somebody.
Remy, don't ruin the rainbow. The rainbow's nice. Don't ruin it.
Remy looks a little sad.
Audience says, "Don't make me knock you out again, Fisher."
I mean, if you didn't do it, I was about to, so don't give yourself too much credit there, bud.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Audience just gives a nod and then starts cleaning his own sword with all of Fisher's sap on it.
Yeah.
Casually.
Everyone just looking at each other. Like, I beat you. All right.
Remy starts to awkwardly back away.
All right. So, as you all gather up and finish this incredibly awkward moment of looking at those you almost killed and while washing their blood out of your weapons. George just looking at everyone. Everyone hit me. Everyone's washing.
Remy didn't hit.
No,
Thank
that's
you,
right.
Remy.
So are you going to go to him and ask him again why he can't speak? Again?
Maybe ask him why he can't fly. That's always a good one, too.
Ask them both.
Yeah.
And then call him a bird.
I think he's done all three of those in the same sentence before.
It was actually really impressive.
All right, so you all gather yourself up. You finish flexing your muscles at one another as the evening ends. Each one going to sleep with the satisfaction of knowing you can at least kill one party member if you really need to.
Well, I will say that Remy does one thing before he actually goes to sleep. And maybe it's a little bit after everybody else goes to sleep, but he's having a bit of trouble even with his lantern and by his side. So he kind of sits up a little bit, kind of like, looks around just to see if if anyone seems to be watching or would be disturbed. I don't know. I'll make a perception roll.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there in my sentry rest.
Yeah.
Staring at the door, probably.
That's a really low one. He only rolls a 13. That's a 4 on the die, by the way.
You're still troubled by everything that happened. Well, of course, you notice Fisher, who is sitting almost next to you and looking directly at the door in his sentry rest. You do notice a few other people near the door. You see Kavin, the dwarven priest, who is just sitting as cross-legged as a dwarf can in front of the door. You see also a gnome, the one that was referred to as the gunman, but no one really knows his name. You've heard it, but you don't know that it's his name. Next to the door, awake. Everyone else seems to be either resting or tending to the last few remaining wounded members of the expedition.
Yeah. So like Remy like kind of like maybe scooches a little bit over and sort of takes a deep breath as he thinks on I'm just double checking one thing. Oh yeah, that's easy. Yeah. So Raimi like kind of like looks around before pulling out his component pouch and just pulling out like a little bit of fleece and like just like holds it out, and he allows for allows an image to surround him as he casts silent image centered on his location.
Mm-hmm. In what?
And
go ahead.
And the image that goes, it sort of like looks as though like from the perspective of somebody at what must be looking out to the sky.
Okay.
At the top of a hill, but it's dark.
Okay.
But then, as if only in just a few moments, the sun starts to rise from just beyond the skyline.
All right.
Painting the sky in the reds and oranges, and it just like continues to like light everything up, including the little hill, the grasses, even some of the trees that were originally just like covered in darkness. And
so a beautiful sunrise surrounded by hills.
And Raimi just like hugs his familiar close and just watches it a little bit, and then it reverses back to the original point, and then he replays it.
All right.
And he replays that same exact sunrise for the next 10 minutes.
For as long as the spell lasts. All right.
Yeah. And like he does tear up as he's watching it.
Okay. The only one who is in a place to notice this happening, because it's an illusion that you put around yourself, is most likely Fisher. While you are in your passive state in this sentry rest, it's hard not to notice that this wall of image appears around Remy and just keeps rolling and happening, and then reset back and keep going, just like a GIF that you'd find on the internet.
Recognizing that this is his thing, I will not say anything.
All right. So you get to watch Remy fall asleep while watching this comforting image of a sunrise in the middle of a hill-covered place, holding his familiar firmly in his hand, and probably his lantern right next to him, emitting that much more light. And even more so than usual, it does feel like you're watching a kid, a child, comforting itself with pleasant image until he falls asleep. And so, this feels like an interesting place to finish this session. A good contrast between the desolation of the beginning and, well, the better place in which the party is at the end. Or more relaxed, anyway. Alright. So, thank you for spending the evening with us. I hope you all had fun, including the players of the group. You know, I did put them all against one another, forcing them to kill one another. So I hope everyone had fun playing and watching. And I hope we're going to see you all next Wednesday. So until then, as always, if you enjoyed the show, you can support the stream by following us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support us by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, and as always, simply by spreading the word, as we seem to have trouble getting above 48 followers. It'd be nice if we can reach 50. So, if you want any information about Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, donation or Patreon, everything is in the all of the panels below. If you're watching this on YouTube, in the description below. Patreon, I will most likely add it to the text under the each of the windows. And from now on, there will be a mention for the music and ambience during the show. So, thank you all. See you all next Wednesday. Stay safe. And especially in these weird time right now, which are almost over. I'm getting my first vaccination shot. My first shot. In 2 weeks. So, it's almost over. Hold on. But until we get there, stay healthy. Good night.
Stay night.